Well, thank you. I love this quote by William James. He said, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. And I think that's a deep statement, because the idea is to be valued for who we are, and for the work that we do, and for the loyalty and contribution we make over time to organizations. So I happened to have a really interesting experience many, many years ago when I was, it was actually about a week before Valentine's, and I was actually out Valentine's shopping, which most people never do, but there I was. And I had an opportunity to go stop into a place in Salt Lake City called Trolley Square. It's a mall, but it's a renovated trolley station, and it's a classic old building with cobblestone floors and wood veneers, and just these great little boutique shops everywhere. And my thought was that, for that particular year, I thought maybe it'd be fun just to do a gift basket and just make it look really great, put some fun things in it, and let that do. So as I was walking through Trolley Square, I walked into a boutique shop in there that again has the wood veneers and just the beautiful interior. Just has all kinds of things that you'd be looking for, books and candles and art and all kinds of interesting things on the walls surrounding the little boutique. But what was interesting is right in the middle of the boutique, there was a table, a display set out on a table right in the middle of the store. And in the middle of the table, there were 3 glass cylindrical jars, the kind that you'd see with lids on them. Oftentimes they'll have polished rocks and bamboo in them and those kind of things. But on this particular day, they were filled with little plastic hearts about an inch or an inch and a half across, and the kind that you would open up and put little candy hearts in them, or candy of some kind, perhaps. And so I noticed those as I was walking in, and almost instantly I was approached by a lovely young lady who just asked if there was anything she could do for me, anything I needed. I said, I don't think so. I'm just going to kind of look around and get a few ideas today. And then noticing these hearts inside these cylinders, these jars, I said to her kind of jokingly, what I really need is some of those. I thought, having some of those hearts in that basket would be a lot of fun. She just kind of smiled at me politely and walked back towards the counter, probably thinking, here's just another old man wandering the mall, looking for something in there. She walked away, but in less than a minute, she returned, and she had a plastic bag branded with the logo of the shop on it. And she turned to me and says, how many of those would you like? Now, I'm taken aback by that, because it's very rare that people will sell you anything, let alone give you part of a display. So I was surprised by it, and I thought she was just joking with me. I said, I don't know, a dozen or two would be great. And she literally walks over, opens one of the jars, and starts counting out 24 small little hearts and putting them into a bag. And when she finishes, she just turns and hands them to me. Says, there you go. And again, I'm still surprised by this, still thinking we're kind of joking about it, because again, it's a display item. You don't see stores give those away. And she hands me the bag, and I says, well, thank you. How much do I owe you for those? And she says, no charge. Happy Valentine's. Now, as you can imagine, I'm stunned by now with what's going on in this little shop. And so obviously I thank her, but you can probably imagine what happened next. It was a shopping spree, right? You can imagine now I'm walking around the store buying everything I need and stuff that I don't, just because of how well I've been treated here. But as I go over to check out, I notice behind the counter on the wall, a bunch of recognition certificates are being displayed of the employees that work in this place. And it occurs to me that something's going on here. They have a culture in this shop of taking care of people and doing whatever it takes to make people happy, all the way to the point where they're giving away some of the display items, the little red hearts. And it occurs to me that's what's going on is people feel valued. They've been given permission to care for the customer, and something has made this culture, and the something is the owner of the shop. The people that are in leadership and management in this shop and the employees themselves have made a decision to care deeply about providing service, for making a difference with people. And it was a very impressive story and a tremendous experience. Taught me a lot about what can be accomplished when employees are being recognized and valued. So I think it's a great start for this particular week to just recall that and think in terms of what we're trying to do with our cultures. What are we trying to do with our people, and how are we trying to make them feel? And I think the key to that is this concept of causing them to feel deeply appreciated for who they are and this great work that they do on behalf of our organizations, Don.
And I think when we trust people and we align that recognition to what matters most to us as an organisation, then that's what we're talking about here, isn't it? It's joining the dots for the employee that shows that they're trusted. And to your point, it's about giving permission. And we really love this quote because at a time when companies are looking for every source of competitive advantage, the workforce itself represents that reservoir of untapped potential. And that's what we're talking about here. And as we go through the slides today and we think about the difference it makes when you feel appreciated, when someone sees that potential in you, then the world opens up in terms of what that looks like. And I think every organization is trying to differentiate at the moment. You know, every conversation I'm having with senior HR leaders is around how we attract people to the organization and then how we keep them. And one of the biggest differentiators that we have is our culture. And so it's how we shape that. It's how we make sure that we're intentional about what that culture is and kind of making sure that everything is aligned in that respect.